Hello everyone. Welcome back to Ruby Tarot. Thank you so much for always following and supporting the channel. The moment you are watching this video is the perfect time for you to receive the message meant for you. Here on this channel, I always bring messages about the events that are about to unfold in your life. When you open your heart to and trust in positive energies, you are also connecting with a parallel world where your wishes have already been fulfilled. Today, through this reading, I hope to help you unlock future possibilities and support you on your journey to conquer love and manifest your desires. The topic of today's reading is the sudden changes that are about to happen. Perhaps many of you have recently felt that the flow of life is becoming faster and more intense. So, what is about to accelerate in the near future? Let's find out together through today's reading. I have selected 3 cards, corresponding to Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Please take a moment to listen to your intuition and choose the card that you feel most drawn to. Once you have made your choice, you can click on the timestamp in the description box to jump directly to your reading. Now, let's begin the session with those of you who have made your selection. Hello, Pile 1 friends. Thank you for your patience. Now, I will begin the reading for those of you who chose Group 1. I hope this reading brings you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love. With the theme of sudden movements and shifts, we will explore what unexpected changes are coming your way. First of all, looking into the past, your energy appears very strongly. It feels as though you were in a state of 100% enthusiasm, completely immersed in something, moving forward proactively with all the strength you had. Perhaps you came up with a brilliant idea and immediately took action on it. Or you felt that you were moving along the right current, as if everything was falling perfectly into place. You might have met many people, encountered a series of opportunities, or simply sensed that life was flowing smoothly and favorably. It is also possible that you had devoted yourself wholeheartedly to your work, truly feeling that you were living life to the fullest, without any hesitation. Over the past 6 months or so, I sense that you have made tremendous efforts, pouring all your time, energy, and focus into moving forward, to the point where you didn't even dare to pause. Perhaps many of you went through that period at an extremely intense pace, always leaning forward, meaning you were constantly ready to spring into action without giving yourself a moment to rest. However, when I tune deeper into this energy, I also sense that, even though you were very proactive and determined, there was still a part of you that wasn't entirely motivated by love or genuine desire. It could be that you did everything because you felt you had to, that you needed to take on this role, rather than because your heart truly wanted it. The question that arises is, did you truly love what you were doing? Were you acting out of a deep longing from within your heart, or was it out of a sense of responsibility, pressure, or the belief that you ought to do it? There is a slight feeling that you placed yourself in a position where you had to maintain an image, had to push through, had to strive relentlessly, even though deep inside, you might not have felt completely free. Even so, it cannot be denied that you have been incredibly strong and full of inner resilience. That energy is truly admirable. And it also serves as the foundation for you to move forward, no matter what is coming next. Even if you told yourself that you chose to take on this work, there is still a part of you that acted for the sake of others, or because you were concerned about how people would perceive you. It's not that you had any ill intentions or impure motives. Rather, it feels as if you were swept along by something that, deep down, was not entirely what your heart truly longed for. The reading shows signs that you have been quite heavily influenced by your surroundings. Perhaps the efforts, the enthusiasm, and the relentless perseverance you poured out were actually fueled by external factors. It's as if something or someone made you feel you had to do it, that you should do it, and so you kept charging forward without stopping. However, in the present moment, it seems you are finding yourself in a state of paralysis, exactly as depicted by the 8 of Swords. You feel bound, unable to move forward or backward, and your energy is drained. The reversed Ace of Wands has appeared as a sign that the fire within you is fading, or at least, it is no longer burning as strongly as before. You might be losing motivation, feeling exhausted, and struggling to find the inspiration to continue. Some of you may have once put tremendous effort into a task that was assigned to you or taken on a responsibility from someone else, and gave it your all. Yet as you went deeper into it, you began to realize that it wasn't truly aligned with who you are. You may have acted out of the belief that it would help others or that it was the right thing to do, but in return, you ended up feeling betrayed or disappointed because the outcome was not what you had hoped for. For example, you might have placed your trust in a person, a relationship, an organization, or a certain opportunity. But once you immersed yourself in it, you discovered that it was very different from what had been described to you. People spoke highly of it, yet when you actually engaged with it, you realized it didn't resonate with you at all. As a result, you might have suffered losses or felt as if you had been taken advantage of. From there, a sense of disillusionment may have set in. You began to lose trust in others and even started doubting the world and doubting yourself. At present, as the reading suggests, you may find yourself in a state of uncertainty, with the future feeling obscure and unclear, unsure of where you are headed. A sense of anxiety seems to be casting a shadow over your mind. This could also explain the loss of motivation and the decline in your inner energy. Some of you may be feeling confused, torn about how to proceed, or it is possible that you are experiencing physical health issues. Your body itself may no longer allow you to move forward the way it used to. Both your emotional and physical states at this moment are not in the ideal condition for you to advance with strength. Many of you might simply be worn out from the past several months. You have pushed yourself too hard, poured out all your energy, and now your body is speaking up. This could very well be the time when you need to step back a little, not to give up, but to recover. You may be entering a phase of introspection, a time to turn inward, to listen to yourself. This is a moment when you need to replenish your energy rather than continue giving it away. Rest is needed more than the urge to produce something new. Allow yourself to breathe, to slow down, and simply be. I can sense that the past and present periods you have just gone through may have been extremely harsh and exhausting, but don't worry. The future and the final outcome indicated in this reading bring truly positive signals. And the sudden movement that is about to unfold in your life. We will dive into that in more detail shortly. First of all, what I feel very strongly is this. If you are able to release something at this moment, a smooth and effortless flow will open up for you. The cards are showing that rapid changes are about to happen, particularly in the realm of emotions or human relationships. Therefore, if you find yourself in a situation that feels heavy, unclear, or prevents you from looking toward the future with positivity, it is very likely that the root cause lies within your surrounding relationships. Of course, it's not solely about people. The overall environment and circumstances could also be contributing factors. The card that has appeared here is the Three of Emotions, the Three of Cups, and this indicates that you once shared a fairly close and intimate connection with someone or with a particular group of people. It could have been a collaborator, a partner, a sponsor, a member of your team, or simply someone who supported you greatly, a lover, a life companion, a relationship marked by attachment and shared journeying. You had placed your trust in this person, working together toward a common goal, and perhaps even building something meaningful together. However, at present, I sense that there is a subtle rift beginning to form within this relationship. It's not necessarily a major betrayal, but rather, you are gradually realizing that there is a misalignment, a loss of the harmony that once existed. For example, you may notice that things this person once said now seem to have been mere words, or that they exaggerated certain matters. It's possible that they did not intentionally deceive you, but as you delved deeper, you discovered that the reality does not align with what was originally presented to you. It is also possible that the person in question was not fully aware that what they were saying was inaccurate, meaning they themselves might have been misled by someone else, or they too could have been a victim in a chain of misinformation. And from there, the situation that you find yourself in was created. That's why I want to ask, was there something that happened in the past that made you lose trust in the person you once journeyed with? Even if it wasn't an outright betrayal, you might now be starting to feel a sense of doubt, or noticing a gap between what they present outwardly and the reality beneath the surface. It's also possible that you were once blinded by a strong initial impression. This person might have shown you only their most beautiful, appealing sides, everything you had been hoping for, and you believed in that image. But as time went on, as you worked together more closely or entered a deeper relationship, you began to see other facets, aspects that left you feeling uncertain or directionless. Perhaps this person genuinely had fond feelings for you and wished to grow closer to you, so they made an effort to present the most positive sides of themselves for you to see. However, as human beings, we all have many different facets, and I do not sense that this person intended to do anything harmful or to hurt you. Even if there were moments that left you feeling shocked or wounded, I truly believe it was not done with malicious intent. The feeling here is that they simply admired you. And this does not necessarily have to be within a romantic context. It could very well be someone who looked up to you greatly, or someone who simply wished to work alongside you, and so they tried their best, striving to show their capabilities in order to be closer to you. For example, they might have said things like, "I can do this," or "This product is really good. You should try it." And in my view, these words did not stem from any ill intention. It may have just been their way of expressing their desire to be nearer to you, or simply because they genuinely believed it would be good for you, and thus encouraged or urged you in that direction. Even the opportunities they introduced to you, it is possible that they truly believed those were good for you, rather than trying to manipulate or take advantage of you. However, you might now be wondering, should I continue this relationship? Or am I gradually sensing that something feels misaligned, not quite as I had hoped? I sense that the environment around you, especially within your relationships, is beginning to shift. And very likely, the rapid changes that are about to unfold in your life are connected to this very transformation. You may be starting to see more clearly who is truly sincere with you and who is not, or you're beginning to perceive more distinctly the path you are meant to follow. Therefore, I believe that a significant part of this swift movement lies in the fact that you have almost completed the process of clearing and clarifying everything related to your relationships and your immediate environment. That is the very first thing that needs to be purified. Now, I would like to explore more deeply with you what actually happens when you truly take action, specifically what unfolds. Of course, this part may not entirely apply to everyone, but I sense there is an energy here worth paying attention to. It seems this could be happening in a very indirect way, not necessarily that you are interacting directly with a certain person, but rather that you are being influenced by someone you admire, or by something that person has introduced to you. Perhaps you have tried doing something based on their recommendation, only to realize afterward, oh, this isn't what I thought it would be. And that, too, is part of the lesson for you at this stage. Then, the Present Power card appears, a reminder of the strength that exists within you right now. As you begin to act and move forward, I can sense very clearly that you will gradually reclaim yourself, rediscover who you truly are. It feels as if you have, at some point, been heavily influenced by your surroundings or by the people you engaged with, which made it easy for you to be swept along by external forces. But now, you are slowly breaking free from that state. The Final Outcome card appears with a very serene energy, like a message that you will be able to live according to your own rhythm. This is the journey where you are gradually returning to yourself, naturally coming back to your innermost essence, free from any bindings. The Surrender card also emerges, symbolizing the act of letting go. Then, as I pulled a few more cards, two of them dramatically jumped out, the Queen of Cups and the Fool reversed. The feeling here is that something very important is about to happen, a turning point that could cause your life to shift quickly and profoundly. That is why I would like to look more deeply with you into how this upcoming surge of movement will unfold, including the elements that will act as catalysts. One theme that stands out throughout the entire message is this: you will begin to plant your feet firmly on the ground. Meaning, you will no longer feel the need to strive, to force yourself to be recognized, to survive, or to simply continue existing. Instead, you will begin to sense a deep peace coming from within yourself, from your own perceptions, emotions, and unique aesthetic. All you need to do is continue living and radiating that vibration, and that will be more than enough. And then, a card about romance, love, or deeply emotional connections appears as a gentle yet profound message. If you have experienced wounds from a past relationship, the person who is about to enter your life will not only help you heal and forget those past hurts, but will also make you realize, so everything I went through was necessary for me to truly appreciate and recognize the extraordinary difference this person brings. This individual is the complete opposite of those you have encountered before. In the past, you may have met people who drained your energy, whether mentally, emotionally, or even by taking away opportunities. But this time, someone with a giving and nurturing energy will arrive. They will bring strength, support, and even practical resources to help you move forward. It is possible that this person holds influence or power, and while that might sound old-fashioned or reminiscent of the structural systems of the Earth era, it remains an essential part of what you need when pushing something important ahead. Because in some cases, to create true and lasting change, you need someone with enough influence to help open new doors for you. Therefore, when speaking about the person who will support you in the coming period, it is very different from those who have appeared around you in the past. Not all, but most of the people who were previously by your side seem to have a tendency to lean on you. They were not necessarily proactively supportive or genuinely standing with you. Rather, they would follow your lead or leave the responsibility to you. It's not that they were malicious or deliberately taking advantage of you, but because you have always been someone stable and highly capable, handling everything so smoothly that, gradually, they allowed you to carry the entire burden. You are someone responsible, competent, and especially gifted at making things appear simple, or at least making them seem that way. And it is exactly this quality that made others become reliant on you. They would say they wanted to help, wanted to collaborate, but in the end, everything would fall back into your hands. I can feel very clearly that situation where you might think, why does it end up being all on me again? And you find yourself both physically drained and emotionally exhausted. Some of you may currently be in that exact state, so weary that you have lost the motivation to do what you truly desire. You may feel as though the days pass heavily, with no vivid positive emotions or clear drive remaining. And then, a breakthrough event will take place, what we call a strong movement, which is when you will meet someone who is completely different from those you have encountered before. This person will give, rather than take. They will be able to support you with tangible resources, whether financially, through social standing, or a position of influence. They are someone solid enough to stand beside you, to assist you without making you shoulder their share of the burden. It could be someone who is financially stable or holds a certain status in society, the kind of person who can back you up or protect you when necessary. Though it may sound pragmatic, sometimes such resources are exactly what you need in order to truly transform, to no longer have to struggle alone, and to be able to pursue what you want with a sense of security and assurance. The Surrender card carries a very clear message here. You'll be able to entrust everything to someone else with peace of mind. That means, if until now you have always had to carry everything on your own, from work responsibilities to running a business or personal projects, soon, someone will appear who can share that load with you. It might be a partner, a life companion who is willing to take on the financial aspect, or simply someone whose presence makes you realize that the time has come for you to no longer do everything alone. The Romance card also appears, suggesting that emotional connections are likely to be involved here as well. In other words, the person coming into your life may not only offer support in terms of work or daily living, but will also carry the colors of emotion and love. Furthermore, this card carries the meaning of imagination and idealization, which hints that this could very well be the kind of person you once quietly wished for, someone you dreamed of having by your side. Whether it is in the realm of work, business partnership, love, or even another area of life, this is someone you have long hoped for. This person will say something like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of everything," and they will truly be able to follow through. They won't just offer empty words, but will take real, tangible actions. For instance, if someone is causing trouble for you, or if there are negative voices directed at you, this person will step in to defend you, even handling those difficult situations on your behalf. They are like a protector, a steadfast embrace that makes you feel safe, safe enough to entrust yourself to them without needing to constantly stay in a tense, controlling role. This person possesses a great capacity. They are willing and capable of embracing and caring for you on many levels, both materially and emotionally. Although there will be romantic feelings involved, their role will not be limited to love alone. They will also serve as a resource, a comprehensive pillar of support for you. They are not coming into your life for you to continue carrying burdens. Instead, they encourage you to be a little selfish, a little vulnerable. In other words, to finally allow yourself to be stubborn, free, and to do what you want without fear of being abandoned or blamed. The Reverse Fool card also affirms this. While it typically conveys negative meanings such as impulsiveness, selfishness, or lack of control, in this context it carries a much gentler message. You have gone far too long without allowing yourself to be playful, carefree, or to act without overthinking. Now, this person will be the reason you dare to let go and truly enjoy life. It does not necessarily have to be a specific individual. It could also be an environment, an organization, or even a company or enterprise, places or conditions that have the ability to nurture, support, and guide you. Interestingly, there is no age limitation here. Whether this person is older or younger than you, they still carry the energy of someone who can protect and clearly guide you. In fact, for some of you who are currently in a romantic relationship, it could very well be your partner, the one who, upon witnessing the difficult circumstances you are going through, will say, "It's okay, let me take care of it," or "Leave this to me." A person like that, someone who shows up exactly when you need them, willing to act rather than just offer empty words, is approaching you, or may have already begun to make their presence felt. This will lead you to start thinking, so everything truly happens for a reason. Because in truth, nothing in life is meaningless. Even though you may have gone through rather dark and heavy days, whether it was a week, a month, or even longer, that period still carried its own purpose. It was like a necessary turning point, allowing you to reflect and bringing things that had been unclear out into the light. It is very likely that at some point, you placed your hopes in someone or something, only to end up disappointed. Perhaps it was a promise that was not kept, a plan that fell apart, or a person you thought would always stand by you but ultimately did not. Whether the event was big or small, the feeling for you was still one of hurt. Yet it was precisely through this experience that you were given time to reflect on the relationship, to ask yourself, should I continue staying beside these people? Or is this truly the right environment for me? And so, what is being highlighted here is that you will return to the things that bring you joy, the things that ignite your excitement and warm your heart. You will finally have the space and the energy to refocus on what truly matters to you, on the things that bring you fulfillment, not just a sense of duty. You are entering a phase where you can live true to what you love and be supported so that it becomes easier to do so. Until now, you may have been incredibly busy, constantly occupied, with barely a moment to care for yourself. Perhaps it has been a long time since you last got your hair done, your nails cared for, or indulged in any form of self-care. But soon, someone or something will come into your life to provide you with a sense of abundance, or to say to you, don't worry, just go. I'll handle this part for you. If you are someone who has been struggling with raising children, it is possible that your husband will begin to share the burden more equally. In other words, you will be given some time to care for and nurture yourself, allowing you to breathe a sigh of relief and realize that, after all, you do not have to push yourself so hard. Such a shift is coming your way, something that will ease your heart and make you see that you no longer need to carry the weight alone. In the advice section, the card of Happy Family also appeared, the Ten of Cups. This serves as a gentle reminder. You deserve to be happy. It is a simple but profound piece of advice, suggesting that while living for others and striving for others is a noble thought, you must first fill your own cup. Allow yourself to experience happiness first. The final outcome also shows that you are becoming more serene, more attuned to your own natural rhythm. You will be able to move through life at your own pace. And the upcoming changes, those sudden shifts, could very well bring encounters that offer significant support to you, or a new living environment that is gifted to you, things that will truly help you feel supported, lighter, and much more at ease. Looking at the overall spread, it is clear that you have always put in your utmost effort, perhaps even to the point of overexertion. Yet you drew the King of Swords, a card that signifies you embody a strong masculine energy at its highest level, regardless of whether you are male or female. You are someone guided by reason, always making wise decisions, possessing vast knowledge, and being a pillar of trust and support for others. Because of this, you may have distanced yourself greatly from the concepts of personal joy, self-happiness, or living a soft, relaxed, and gentle life. Your existence thus far may have been completely devoid of such ease and lightness. However, the energies are shifting, a vibrant, radiant world filled with light, laughter, and joy is unfolding before you. And the most wonderful part is, you are now allowed to focus on yourself, to live for yourself. Because you have spent so long living for others, giving your all for everyone else, this is now a time of reward meant just for you. A new phase is beginning, one where you are prioritized, pampered, and allowed to live more gently and lightly. Now, let's take a look at some upcoming developments. I have drawn 4 cards to explore the path ahead. The Whip card appeared first, followed by the Letter card. It seems that in the near future, from now until around 3 months later, or perhaps 4 months, no, I strongly sense it is 3 months, something akin to receiving an award will occur. Though it may not necessarily be a traditional award, it feels more like being selected, accepted, or appointed to a certain position. When the Letter card appeared, words like chosen and appointed immediately echoed in my mind. You will receive very happy news, a kind of announcement that brings you joy and pleasant surprise. As for the Whip card, it often represents discipline, seriousness, or tension. In this case, I sense that the next 1 to 2 months will be a period of harvesting, a phase of closing a cycle, purging, and releasing. In fact, the appearance of this card in the present moment suggests that you might already be feeling extremely tired, pressured, and stressed. And that's completely understandable. If you feel that everything is becoming too heavy, too overwhelming, it makes perfect sense. Because recently, you must have gone through experiences that made you realize, this isn't right for me at all. And because of this, you are being pushed to realize, yes, truly, you can no longer force yourself to continue in that direction. In other words, what no longer serves you is being revealed clearly, compelling you to acknowledge it and step away. Therefore, if you have recently encountered health issues or felt physically unwell, it might be the universe's way of making you stop and reflect. If you don't pause, you might not recognize what needs attention. These situations are not punishments. They are meant to force you to turn your focus back to yourself. It is likely that over the past month or so, you have experienced a great deal of fatigue, stress, and heaviness both physically and mentally. But all of this is part of a purification process, a moment for you to let go of what no longer fits, to distance yourself from relationships that are no longer aligned, so that you can return to your true self. I sense that, in fact, you have already started flowing within this transformative current, a deep cycle of change. And the cards indicate that, within the next 2 months, it will feel as if you are reborn. To help you find calmness and live more gently in the present, I decided to draw one more card for a more specific piece of advice. The card that appeared is Harmony, the world in harmony. True to its message, as you shed the excess, you will gradually reclaim peace within your soul. And it is precisely this inner peace that will lead you toward a more harmonious and serene inner world. The message here is, first and foremost, align yourself with the frequency of harmony. This means seeking out environments that bring you a sense of peace. It could be a quiet, relaxing space, or simply staying at home and turning off your phone for a while to allow your mind to rest. You might spend some time watching a movie you've long wanted to see, or simply allow your mind to become still, free from any thinking. As you journey back to yourself, what is most essential is relaxation. There is no need to force yourself to immediately find your true self, nor to pressure yourself into clearing out relationships or making major decisions, such as whether to leave a job. All you need to do is pause and offer yourself a space of comfort, a place where you can simply be yourself, in the most relaxed and gentle state. Those small, soothing moments are the very essence that will help you reconnect with your true being. When you are able to do that, when you let go and create space within your mind, it is precisely within that emptiness that wonderful new ideas can gently find their way in. Therefore, your first priority should be to reclaim the peace within your soul. I know you might still be carrying many thoughts, worries, and concerns in your mind, but for now, set them aside. Step away from them. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to just let them be. It's okay. This is what true surrender is, surrendering. And in reality, the turning point that allows everything to begin flowing again is exactly that moment when you choose, I give up. I'm not trying anymore. I am not forcing myself anymore. I will let the universe decide. Whatever happens, happens. It's a feeling like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to keep going. I am not participating anymore. And you dare to declare it. You dare to say no. And it is precisely in that moment, the moment you let go, the moment you stop trying to cling to everything, that the new flow finally begins to move. I feel that you are someone who has always been deeply attentive to the emotions and thoughts of others. You worry about how people might perceive you, whether your actions might upset or disappoint someone. But if you're not the kind of person who tends to overthink these things, that's perfectly fine too. However, if you belong to the group that often cares too much about how others see you, then perhaps this is the time you need to start changing that. Of course, we cannot simply stop caring about others overnight, but in order to truly let go, you must begin by trying to live without being bound by the fear of what others might think. Because the cards are telling you, you absolutely can do it. You are allowed to be a little selfish, to focus a little more on yourself. Until now, you may have associated the words selfish or stubborn with negative connotations. And it's true. There is a difference between living from a place of ego and living from a place of self-respect and autonomy. But I can see that even if you sometimes wonder, am I being too selfish? The truth is, you have always carried a heart that is mindful of others. You are someone who could never intentionally hurt another person. You could never truly live selfishly by disregarding the feelings of others. That is simply your nature. So, rest assured. Be brave enough to be a little selfish. You fear being selfish, but in truth, the very kind of selfishness you are thinking of is exactly the medicine you need for healing. You deserve to live according to your own heart. Open yourself up, set yourself free. Allow yourself to enjoy feelings like, this is so much fun, how adorable, or wow, I feel like I look better lately. Maybe you'll try a new hairstyle or change your style a little and realize, hey, I actually do look better than before. Even something as simple as looking at yourself in the mirror will become an exciting, uplifting experience. Everything will gradually start to bring you a true sense of happiness and peace. For example, you might find that prioritizing time with your family feels natural. Cherishing moments with your partner will become something important. And from there, you will reach a soft, peaceful feeling like, as long as I feel okay, that's enough. Try living with yourself, at the center like that. Or more accurately, let go of all the external pressures and allow yourself to return to your true self. Of course, as you do this, everything will be renewed. A new version of you will be born. The card here also speaks to that, the emergence of resolution. At the same time, it signals a turning point and carries the meaning of protection. I sense that from this moment onward, your life will begin to transform powerfully. From now until about 2 months ahead, there will be a noticeable shift, as if you will look back and wonder, who was I before? I feel so different now. And perhaps, during these 2 months, you will also meet someone very important. Some of you may have already encountered this person, while for others, there is a strong possibility of meeting them within the next 1 to 2 months. If there is already someone present in your life, and you feel, could it be this person? Then the upcoming period will likely bring a significant development in that relationship. And it is precisely this connection that will help untangle the issues and stuck energies you have been enduring, perhaps feelings of discomfort, being trapped, or struggling to breathe freely in your life. As these blockages are cleared, you will feel a profound sense of liberation. And right after you are liberated, something joyful and unexpected will come to you. Good news will find its way to you. The message here is, happiness will arrive from many different directions. You might be selected for something, chosen, or offered an opportunity that seems unrelated to everything you've been struggling with, yet it will be something incredibly worth celebrating. It feels as though the universe is orchestrating everything so that you can step into a new journey, one full of surprises and light. Someone will appear, or you'll be guided to a new environment where you receive support, a place where you will meet people who are meant to help you. And from that encounter, the flow of your life will begin to move again. The question then arises, when everything starts flowing, what will happen next? The answer is, you will be able to live naturally, comfortably, in tune with your own rhythm, joyfully and peacefully. This support will help you build a solid foundation to move forward. Everything will become easier, because now you no longer have to carry the burden alone. However, there's something here that carries a bit of a twist, something not entirely typical. For example, you and the person who supports you might even begin a romantic relationship. It's a possibility. But more likely, it will be through this support that you are able to return fully to your true, authentic self. And when you begin living in alignment with your true nature, the people who genuinely resonate with you will start appearing around you. That will be the moment when things that have never happened before start unfolding. For instance, you might be selected for a position, chosen for an important role, or pass an exam you once thought was out of reach. I sense that there will be a major turning point emerging in this final phase, a completely different direction compared to the flow up until now. And we should take a closer look at it. The next cards that appeared are college, learning and education, power, strength, courage, bravery, warrior, fighter spirit, strength, inner resilience, and self-reflection, introspection. The message here can be understood as a union with oneself. You are beginning to fully accept who you are. The following card is Judgment, but it came out reversed, and this brings a powerful inspiration. It feels like a message from your past self is returning, reaching out to you. It feels as if there is something you once longed to do, but had to abandon, and now, that opportunity is returning to you. You are about to be given the chance to pursue what your past self once cherished deeply. Is there something you had once given up on? Something that left you with lingering regrets, a silent ache of what could have been? A dream, a chance, or a calling you had once thought, perhaps it's impossible now? All of those things, the ones you left behind because of circumstances or pain, are now being handed back to you, once again as a gift from the universe. And then the card reveals the number 4, suggesting that this will unfold within about 4 months. Of course, you may need to summon a little more courage to try once more. But the stronger feeling here is that you are ready. Everything you have experienced up until this moment, the events, the trials, the losses, none of it has been in vain. Because through all of that, you have met new people, formed a support network, and a solid foundation has quietly been taking shape beneath your feet. And it is precisely because of that you are now able to walk toward the dream you once abandoned. The opportunity will return. Or perhaps it will simply be that you remember what it was you truly once longed for. It turns out I still want to do that after all. It is also possible that this is connected to writing because the image of a letter appears. Perhaps it involves writing, sharing, or speaking something out into the world. Of course, this will not apply to everyone, but surely, some of you reading these words will feel your heart stir at the mention of it. It may even be something you are not consciously aware you once abandoned. Just like when you were a child, wanting to become something new every day, today dreaming of being a doctor, tomorrow imagining yourself as an artist. There are things you once spoke of, once dreamed of, and then forgot. But your soul never forgot. It feels as if there is something your soul is longing for, yearning deeply to fulfill. This could be a calling, a life mission, or a talent you were born to bring into this world. And if you feel that stirring within you, you might want to revisit the previous video I shared, where I spoke about life missions, callings, and talents. Perhaps there, you will find more clues meant just for you. It seems you are gradually reconnecting with your past self, not only for healing but also as if you are now reaching out to offer a gift to the person you once were. And the message is clear. That dream, the desire you once yearned to fulfill, now has the potential to become reality. Around you, new people and new relationships are arriving. They will support you, join forces with you, and help you bring that dream into existence. At the same time, those people or elements that once held you back, that once weighed you down, will gradually leave your life. Everything seems to be undergoing a natural cleansing, clearing the path so you can move forward more steadily. Perhaps many of you have already watched recent readings and sensed a similar energy. We are stepping into a period of major transformation. A phase where, within just the next 1 to 2 months, your life could change very rapidly. The opportunity to start over, to finally pursue what you have always wished for, will come within the next 4 months from the moment you encounter this reading. Before that, you will go through a period of returning to a state of balance, meaning you will gradually regain your own natural rhythm, feeling a greater sense of autonomy and freedom. According to the energy of this reading, the phase of complex problems or feelings of stagnation will begin to resolve within the next 3 months. Biologically speaking, the cells in the human body also regenerate on a cycle of about 3 months, so it is no surprise that this is also the time frame for your own inner rebirth. During these 3 months, you are likely to experience moments where everything feels turned upside down. Things you once believed to be right and necessary will no longer hold true. Things you once thought unimportant may suddenly return and become the missing piece you have been searching for. What no longer fits will naturally fall away. And then, what truly belongs to you, what is truly essential for the next phase of your journey, will gradually emerge, as if it is being drawn to you by the very new energy you are now creating. Congratulations to you, a wonderful journey awaits ahead. If what you have just heard has touched your heart, and later, something truly unfolds, the very thing that was mentioned in this reading, I would be so happy if you came back and shared your story. I will conclude the reading for those who chose pile 1 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and show your support by liking the video. Your encouragement is a tremendous source of motivation that helps me continue bringing new content to you. If there was something in this reading that resonated with your heart, I hope you will leave a comment or even just a small symbol to let me know that the message has reached you. I always look forward to reading your comments, so please don't hesitate to share your thoughts. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you again in the next readings. Hello to those of you who chose pile 2. Thank you for waiting. Now, I will begin the reading for everyone who selected pile number 2. I hope this reading will bring you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love. With a theme centered around something that will unexpectedly shift, something that will begin to happen, let us explore together the messages surrounding this sudden transformation. When looking into the moving energies, the first thing strongly emphasized is that something will be clarified. There is something that will undoubtedly become clear, something that will become impossible to deny, and it is precisely this revelation that will set into motion a brand new cycle in your life. Some of you, when choosing this pile, may have initially felt hesitant or unsure. That is completely understandable because the current energy still carries a sense of confusion, quite similar to what has occurred in your past. When looking at the bigger picture, from the past, the present, the environment around you, to the future and final outcomes, the main energy is revolving around a reset, a rebirth, and the beginning of an entirely new start. This shift will occur after something is confirmed, something is brought into the light. And it is that very moment that will serve as the turning point, allowing you to step onto a new stage, a new phase of your life. So, first of all, you can find some reassurance. No matter how trapped or stuck you may feel right now, a new chapter is awaiting you. At present, it seems you are in a situation that feels difficult to navigate. The Tower card has appeared, indicating that you may be experiencing, or have just experienced, a major upheaval, a shock, an event that caused everything to collapse or break apart suddenly. However, when looking back at the past, the King of Cups has shown up. This suggests that in the past 6 months or so, your life overall had been relatively peaceful and emotionally balanced. You may have felt nurtured, loved, or experienced a deep sense of contentment regarding your life, your relationships, or your work. However, at present, with the 9 of Cups appearing reversed, everything seems to have been turned upside down. For example, in matters of love, it could be that you and your partner were once very happy and harmonious, but recently, conflicts, arguments, or something deeply hurtful may have surfaced. It could be a truth you never wished to know, or perhaps an action by the other person that has shaken your trust. Even if you are not approaching this reading with a focus on love, the energy still clearly points to the same theme. Something you once relied on with complete trust, whether it was a relationship, your work, your family, or your living environment, is now being challenged. Your sense of faith and security is being tested. From a state of feeling fulfilled, you are now encountering anxiety, worry, and even pain. In addition, the energy suggests that some of you may be caught up in too many things at once. Your life may be so busy and overwhelming that you have little time left to listen to yourself, which only adds to the sense of confusion and disarray. Even so, this is a necessary turning point to lead you into a new chapter, one where everything will become clearer and more certain than ever before. From there, an entirely new beginning will open itself to you. At the moment, it seems you are carrying many different tasks and responsibilities. On a spiritual level, there is a sense of fulfillment, a feeling of being valued because others trust you and rely on you. Yet at the same time, there is also a growing sense of being overwhelmed, as if you are thinking, I can't possibly take on anything more. You are running through life in that state, and many of you may be silently feeling exhausted and stressed. It appears that you either cannot or do not want to show that fatigue to those around you. You may be projecting an image of being completely fine, even cheerful and optimistic. You say I'm okay even when deep down, that is not entirely true. In the eyes of others, you are the kind of person who always remains steady through everything, a reliable emotional anchor. You are someone who can shoulder the worries of others, not necessarily by always offering solutions, but simply by being present. You already bring a sense of reassurance and peace to those around you. Because you possess such strong, steady, and uplifting energy, people often unconsciously lean on you, seeking you out whenever they need support. Issues, requests, and responsibilities naturally find their way to you, and this can leave you with little time for yourself, for the things you truly wish to do, or for precious moments with your loved ones. At present, you may be falling into a state where these circumstances are starting to feel suffocating. It may not be solely because of these pressures, but they certainly contribute to you losing precious time with the people who matter most or leaving you drained of the energy needed to pursue your passions. I want to explore this aspect further because the energy between the present and the future seems to be in stark contrast. A major shift is about to take place. The Discovery card appears in a reverse position, suggesting a situation where you are confronted with something you did not want to see or know. It could be that you uncovered a truth that deeply wounded you or made you feel betrayed. This revelation may have caused you to withdraw, close off your heart, and become cautious around others. It is not impossible that someone close to you, someone as intimate as a lover, a dear friend, or a colleague, suddenly becomes distant and withdrawn. It seems as if they're the one building a wall between you, no longer opening their heart the way they once did. They might not say anything outright, but you can clearly feel the shift in their energy. All of this is leaving you feeling confused, exhausted, and unsure of how to move forward. Yet, from what appears to be falling apart, a new transformation is beginning to take shape. That's why the feeling of this is it. Like when you encounter a job that feels destined for you, or meet someone who stirs a profound certainty in your soul, a place, a person, a moment when everything inside you screams, this is perfect. This is where I'm meant to be. That intense, unmistakable sense of rightness may have appeared. But then, as time passes, you begin to realize, wait, something isn't quite as you had imagined it would be. You might very well be going through a phase of letting go. So, let's take a deeper look at that together. I have a sense that this often happens when you are on the verge of stepping into a new phase of your life, when things are just about to start moving again after a period of stagnation. You might feel as though everything is at a standstill right now, but in truth, this is the very moment just before the wheel of destiny begins to turn. And, truly, before things start to move in a better direction, it is common for a lot to happen. You may go through experiences that leave you questioning, why do I have to go through this? Or situations where you feel emotionally betrayed. But all of this, in reality, is a form of release. You could say that what is happening is meant to free you from something you had trusted too deeply, clung to too tightly, or become blind to. Perhaps it is a thought, a belief, or an expectation you had been holding onto so firmly, or something into which you had poured so much of yourself, your feelings, your energy, not just your money, but your heart and soul as well. And then you come to realize, maybe it wasn't quite what I thought it was after all. But all of this happens for a reason, to set you free. Free from the things you once clung to. Or, on the other hand, it might be that someone else has been clinging to you, and now is the time to break free from that as well. It seems you are in the flow of release and liberation. Additionally, it is possible that you have done something that wasn't truly aligned with your authentic self. And it is precisely this that has left you feeling disoriented, as if you no longer recognize who you are. Yet this is also the very moment when your inner awakening is being pushed to emerge. That is why, when things don't quite fit, well, if we don't try, how would we ever know, right? You gave it a try, and through that experience you were able to see things clearly. In the end, I believe that's a very good thing. Because the final result is already showing signs of a new beginning. So, if right now you are feeling, have I failed? Or was I wrong after all? Or will all of this turn out to be meaningless? Even if these doubts are surfacing in your heart, please be assured, everything you have gone through has not been in vain. There is a very strong sense that these experiences will later become valuable resources for you to draw upon. The King of Wands has appeared in the position of advice, but I will save the analysis of that for a little later. Before we talk about what actions you should take, I want to dive deeper into the environment surrounding you at the moment, because I can feel there is something here that needs to be heard. It seems that some of you have gone through situations that you could not have anticipated. Unexpected twists, both in positive and less favorable directions. The Seven of Pentacles has appeared, and if this involves someone, whether a lover or simply someone familiar to you, even if you don't perceive the relationship in a romantic sense, the energy I'm sensing is that this person is deeply conflicted, thinking a lot about the relationship between the two of you. However, this does not mean you have done anything wrong. Not at all. This person is simply wondering, what can I do to make them happy? How can I bring a smile to their face? That sort of feeling. Even if you have been someone who can fulfill yourself, who can create joy and satisfaction from within, or even if you feel content with this relationship and are genuinely happy with your current environment, on their side, they are tending to blame themselves heavily. They are not blaming you. Rather, they are turning inward, criticizing and questioning themselves. And because of that, your energy is being perceived like this. You might be thinking that everything is going smoothly, that everything is fine. But the other person doesn't see it that way. They feel that maybe you are not truly happy, or perhaps that you are not genuinely enjoying what they are offering. It might simply be that they cannot read your emotions clearly, they do not fully understand your expressions, and from that, they fall into the belief that they are the one making you unhappy, or that perhaps the environment, the current circumstances, are not truly right for you. I can clearly sense a lack of confidence coming from this person. They are viewing everything through a rather negative lens, even to the point of overthinking and making assumptions. This has led to a misalignment, a disconnect in rhythm between the two of you. As a result, this person seems to be gradually pulling away from you. From your perspective, you might be thinking, wait, wasn't everything going well? How did things end up like this? It seems that both of you have been too cautious, too reserved with one another. Perhaps even when you genuinely felt happy and joyful, you didn't express it outwardly in a clear way. And on the other hand, they haven't shared their worries and uncertainties with you either. Thus, there is a gap in communication between the two of you, a rupture in the connection. At this moment, neither of you truly understands the other. This person is in a state of thinking, I tried my best, but did it really make them happy? It doesn't seem like it. And then they start to believe, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I failed. They are retreating inward, getting trapped in a loop of self-doubt. I have the feeling that this person might have already drawn a conclusion in their heart. It's definitely not okay anymore. Surely they don't want to be with me. Out of fear of being hurt, fear of being rejected before you even have the chance to say anything, they may be the one to proactively create distance, saying things like, maybe we should take some time apart. In summary, the energy here is one of misalignment, misunderstanding, and unnecessary silence. Each person is holding their own defensive stance, and because of that, the two are gradually drifting apart, even though, deep down, there may still be a great deal of affection. And then you find yourself in a state of not knowing what to do. You feel confused, hurt, as if the words they said came too suddenly. In your heart, you had believed that everything was going well, so when faced with their reaction, you feel shocked and disappointed. There is a strong sense that the two of you are not truly understanding each other, not truly aligned in perception and emotion. Looking at the cards, I feel that this situation is not limited to romantic relationships. It could also extend to other connections around you, friendships, work environments, school, or any place where you are regularly involved. There is a clear feeling of being out of sync, Between you and your surroundings, there seem to be misunderstandings, differences in perspectives, and a mismatch in how things are being perceived. The people around you may be trying to understand you, but in truth, they have yet to truly grasp your inner world. They may be judging you based on outward appearances, on surface-level actions, without truly touching the depth of your emotions. Because of this, misunderstandings arise, and often you are perceived inaccurately. They believe they know you, when in fact, they have completely misunderstood. This dynamic is happening across your relationships, and perhaps it is precisely this that makes you feel suffocated, exhausted, as if no one truly sees or understands who you are. However, looking toward the future, the Knight of Pentacles has appeared. This card carries a message of clarity, of steady and grounded progress. Something will become clear, illuminated, and will unfold in a tangible and reliable way. Therefore, let's look more closely at this. From this perspective, I sense that the misalignment and misunderstandings between you and the other person, or with the people around you, may find a way to be resolved. Because clarity is the key word here. When things become clear, when both sides can communicate honestly, the distance between you will naturally begin to close. However, the emotions coming from the other person reveal that they are still dissatisfied with themselves. It's not just a simple lack of confidence, it's as if they are angry at themselves. It feels like they are telling themselves, "I'm useless, I'm not worthy of them." They are wearing a mask, behind the mask, and behind that mask lies a torrent of self-criticism. They don't see themselves as worthy. They don't believe they can truly bring happiness to you. This is the energy currently surrounding this person: low self-esteem, self-blame, and the overwhelming feeling of not being good enough to stand beside you. Behind the mask, behind the facade. I will draw a few more cards to clarify this further. And it is indeed so. Because it is a mask, it suggests that there are things that have not yet been fully seen, issues that have been hidden, but now, little by little, are beginning to come to light. The card receiving unlimited abundance appeared alongside hunger. Perhaps the true issue lies in the surrounding environment, or more specifically, with the person connected to you, who feels unable to provide you with what you truly deserve. This is not because you are lacking, but because they themselves feel incapable of giving you what you need. There are two perspectives here, as the spread leans heavily toward relationships. If you're asking about a specific individual, it is very clear that this person is dissatisfied with themselves, especially in the areas of finances or career. I can clearly sense that they are lacking confidence, feeling inadequate, feeling unworthy. However, something will happen that will help them regain their confidence, and I sense that this could be related to financial matters, a new opportunity, a turning point that allows them to shift their position. The card's depletion appearing alongside abundance and behind the mask suggests that this person may currently be experiencing financial difficulties or career instability. They are very worried about their own circumstances, but have not been able to share this with you. This might be why they have been keeping their distance, or why there is a sense of disconnection between the two of you. There is also the possibility that the issue lies within the family realm. If this person already has their own family, they might be facing difficulties in that area, which they feel unable to share with you. Whether this person is a friend, a lover, or someone within your close social circle, the message remains. They are hiding something out of fear of disappointing you, or because they feel ashamed for not being good enough. The positive aspect here is that these issues are gradually being resolved. And as that happens, the relationship between you and this person, or between you and your surrounding circumstances, will undergo a powerful transformation. Additionally, there is a possibility that someone truly wants to help you, to support you because they see the talent, potential, and brilliant ideas that you carry. This person may have once promised to assist you, but due to various reasons, whether financial limitations or circumstances beyond their control, they were ultimately unable to fulfill that promise. This, too, might have caused you to feel disappointed or to lose a certain amount of trust. The current obstacles mainly stem from things left unsaid, from issues unfolding behind the scenes. However, the positive aspect is that these hidden matters are gradually being brought to light, clarified, and through that, new opportunities for healing and forward movement are emerging. From your perspective, you may have felt something like, wait, wasn't it already promised that this would happen? Leading you to experience a sense of being tied down, unable to act, or even a feeling of betrayal. Nevertheless, it seems that the situation is slowly being rearranged in a way that will allow the other party to truly fulfill what they had committed to. And during this period, you too will find yourself beginning to move, to act, and to regain a sense of freedom in your own way. Additionally, there is another important point. unrelated to the people around you but directly connected to yourself. It concerns something that has been a core issue in your life, something you have yearned for deeply, something your heart has long hungered for with all its passion. Now, that yearning is beginning to be fulfilled. What you once thought of wistfully, if only this could happen, will now have a chance to become reality. Issues that once plagued you, things that you previously could not see or understand clearly, will gradually become illuminated. Everything will start to make sense. This is the current flow that is arriving. Therefore, from any perspective, you are entering a phase of receiving abundance, or in other words, embracing a state of sufficiency, not only in material aspects but also in peace of mind, clarity, and emotional relief. The issues that once served as barriers, the areas that were previously blurred or uncertain, will now gradually be lifted away. To further clarify, I will also draw additional cards from the Lenormand deck and simultaneously observe the overall unfolding dynamics to dive deeper into the details of how things will become clearer. It appears that the environment around you, the place where you live, work, or maintain connections, currently harbors certain problems. But the good news is that these problems are on their way to being resolved. And as a result, you too will benefit from these positive changes. I sense that many of you are quite heavily influenced by this situation or by the people involved. For example, if you are working at a company that has been facing challenges, perhaps struggling with sales, internal conflicts, or periods of stagnation, then soon, a kind of rescue or breakthrough may appear, such as the arrival of a new investor or a significant collaborative opportunity. This, in turn, will spark positive changes for you, such as bonuses, salary increases, or the receipt of crucial support. It would be a form of indirect yet unmistakable blessing. In summary, this is a time when seemingly deadlocked issues will gradually find their resolutions, and you will not only experience liberation on a mental and emotional level but also start to notice tangible shifts in your financial situation and surrounding circumstances. Therefore, it may not necessarily be something that happens directly to you, but rather that you will reap the benefits from the transformations unfolding around you. There is a clear sense of this energy coming through. Now, because I want to explore the flow over the next 4 months, I will draw 4 cards to observe. The Tower card appears, and once again it is the Tower. However, the meaning of the Tower here is slightly different from its usual interpretation. Following it are the Fox, the Mice, and the Man cards, a sequence carrying rather intriguing energy. Regarding the Tower card this time, it speaks of an expansion of vision, the ability to see further ahead, to broaden your perspective, or it could also symbolize something you can commit to for the long term. It feels as though a message is being delivered. I sense that by the 4th month, everything will gradually reach a point of completion, or in other words, a soft landing, a state of stabilization, and a kind of reboot that feels like a rebirth. And indeed, what I sense is that from the person connected to you, whether it is a lover, a family member, or someone you work with, they will truly begin to prepare themselves to face you with seriousness and wholeness. In other words, the areas where they previously felt lacking or incapable will now be strengthened and completed. Alternatively, it may also come from within you as you start to receive the flow of abundance, particularly in terms of finances or resources. And because the Tower also implies greater clarity of vision, it suggests that you'll be stepping into a phase where you have the necessary means to pursue what you have truly desired. With the Man card representing masculine energy, which signifies initiative, decisiveness, and independence, I believe you will begin to take action, to stand on your own, and to pursue your goals with more clarity and determination. I feel that there are 2 groups of people being reflected in this reading. The first group consists of those who are in a relationship or environment where, for now, the other person has not been able to offer what you need due to circumstances beyond their control. However, in the coming period, those knots and entanglements will begin to loosen, and something good will be sent your way. The second group consists of those who are on a journey of self-reliance. You'll have the opportunity to create results on your own, to realize your dreams, or to achieve something truly valuable through your own abilities. Now, returning to the Fox and the Mice cards, which appear around the 2nd and 3rd months, I sense that this is the point of ignition or a major turning point. There is a touch of drama here, even the kind of drama you would expect from a television series. Adding to that, another reverse Tower card appears. The energy of the Tower is undeniably strong throughout this reading. It suggests that something which had been hidden or unclear will now surface. Particularly within the next month, or perhaps even now for some of you, this will be a period when truths and core issues begin to come to light. What was hidden behind the curtain, the true emotions, the silent struggles, all will begin to be revealed. Around you, The truths from those close to you, such as their genuine feelings, their inner thoughts, seem to be gradually surfacing into the open. There is also a possibility that you will receive such revelations indirectly, through news or matters not directly related to you. But regardless of how it happens, the energy clearly indicates an unfolding process of uncovering the truth. I drew one more card, and it is the Eight of Swords in reverse. This card indicates that the things you once believed in, the things you thought were certain, or the situations you assumed would continue into the future, may be overturned. You may realize that what you had trusted for so long is not actually what it seemed. It is much like the recent revelations in the entertainment industry, where hidden dark sides have been exposed, and what once appeared flawless turned out to be full of unexpected truths. Similarly, you might have had a vague intuition that something wasn't quite right, but you chose to deny it, to suppress that inner knowing. Now is the time when those buried feelings, the truths you once kept tightly sealed within, will begin to surface with undeniable clarity. However, this is not something overly negative or frightening. It is not the kind of revelation that would leave you shocked or wounded, but rather a necessary truth that you are meant to know. Because once you see the truth, you will gain a deeper and more thorough understanding of everything. From there, you will also become clearer about your own true feelings. It turns out I no longer want this, or conversely, I actually want to try pursuing this. Recognizing these authentic inner truths will help you make clearer choices, allowing you to reclassify what you truly wish to hold on to and what you are ready to let go of. Therefore, over the next month, I believe many things will surface. Hidden truths, suppressed emotions, and aspects of yourself that you once concealed even from your own awareness. Everything will be laid bare. And even if, at first, this brings feelings of discomfort or surprise, it is merely the initial step of a rebirth process. A renewal, a new chapter, is drawing near, and everything that happens is simply preparing you to step into that new chapter with greater stability. The way that society today is gradually exposing hidden shadows and unclean facets is, in truth, a necessary part of the world's rebirth into something purer and healthier. Thus, it is not that something bad is happening. Rather, it is that the things once invisible are now being brought into the light. Everything is progressing in a positive direction, unfolding naturally. Because of this, the coming month may be a time when you turn inward more deeply, reflecting upon yourself. You will encounter moments when you must truly face your authentic emotions and ask yourself, what do I truly desire? How am I really feeling? Where am I headed? When you can recognize these answers with clarity, the person you are concerned about, the one you have been thinking of, will also begin to shift. And so will the environment around you. Everything begins with you. Now, I would like to take a closer look at the Fox and the Mice cards. As these energies begin to surface, a card called New Beginnings has appeared. If viewed individually, the Fox could represent a competitor, an opponent, or someone who has intentions of taking something away from you. The mice symbolize depletion, a slow draining of energy. However, when observing the overall flow of the reading, I do not sense these energies in a negative context. Instead, I see them as signs of a new encounter, a fresh beginning, not just in love, but possibly in any relationship, experience, or opportunity unfolding in your life. It is like this. The things you once believed to be true, the standards you once adhered to, the path you thought you would follow, they are now being blown apart by the energy of the tower. All those old, outdated structures are collapsing. And through this collapse, you are able to reset, a total, comprehensive renewal. When this new beginning arrives, you'll have the chance to see your true self more clearly. The beliefs you held onto for so long may start to feel uncertain, making you question, was that ever really true? Your old convictions will begin to waver and then dissolve. Yet it is through this very dissolution that new light can shine into your inner world. That is when you will truly see who you are, what you genuinely desire, who you truly wish to be with, and what you truly want to do. A completely new world, one full of authenticity and limitless potential, will open up before your eyes. For this reason, it can be said that the period from the first to the second month will mark a major turning point in your journey. This is a phase where you will meet many new people, individuals who could become collaborators, allies, or who may offer you practical forms of support. Everything will begin to move in a direction that is distinctly different from what you have known before. And if you are viewing this reading in the context of a specific relationship with someone special, the message for you is, within the next 2 to 3 months, it might be beneficial for you to shift your focus elsewhere. For instance, Prioritize spending time with friends, or open your heart to meeting new people, individuals who are entirely different from the person currently on your mind. Even if, in the end, you decide to return to that person, the act of proactively seeking new opportunities and new connections will be a deeply valuable experience for you. I sense that in the coming 2 to 3 months, you will encounter meetings that will make your heart race, moments of genuine emotional stirring, touching your heart in an unexpected and profound way. Perhaps you will meet someone who draws you in with an unexpected magnetism, someone whose presence temporarily lifts you out of the heavy thoughts you have been carrying. It won't be that you are intentionally trying to forget, but rather that the connection will be so naturally captivating that it pulls you into a lighter, freer state of being. You will find yourself drawn into something that truly captivates you. It could be a person, but it might also be something else, a new project, a new job, or a new passion. However, if it is a person, there is a strong possibility that they will capture your heart in some significant way. As for the old person, the one you initially had in mind, this new individual will unintentionally become a kind of counterpart, not as a rival in the sense of direct competition, but as a point of comparison, helping you to see more clearly and make your own choice. I feel the entire reading is describing a journey, a transitional phase that you must pass through before you can return to where you started, if returning is truly what you desire. It's like a multi-layered play. You will experience, explore, and open your heart, only then truly understanding what is meant for you. And it is precisely through these events, these new people, these fresh experiences, that you will finally gather enough emotional data and awareness to make a choice for yourself. This phase is not merely about forgetting the past or temporarily stepping away from something. It is a crucial period that will allow you to discover what truly aligns with your soul. At present, you might find yourself in a state where moving forward seems impossible, yet retreating is equally unfeasible, as though you are trapped in a situation with no clear way out. If someone is currently in such a circumstance, it suggests that their path has yet to be clearly defined. Right now, it feels as though you are seeing many things at once, with countless possibilities beginning to reveal themselves. And through that unfolding, you are gradually coming to recognize your true feelings. What you once firmly believed may turn out not to be as you thought, and it is precisely through the continuous process of realizing this that a new current will unexpectedly emerge. In about 2 months, a sudden change will take place. Within this new current, encounters full of magnetic attraction will come your way, and not only with people but also with new projects, jobs, and activities. Many experiences vastly different from the world you have known so far will start to manifest in your life. There will be a clear sense that these things are arriving from a realm you have barely, if ever, stepped into before. As you immerse yourself in these experiences, you will begin to feel a deep passion and become absorbed in this new world. And then, while you are deeply immersed in this new world, something strange will happen. The old world, the environment you once lived in, will begin to readjust itself and gradually become more stable. It is possible that afterward, you might return to your old environment, but it is equally possible that you will realize this new world is far more captivating and fascinating, leaving you with no real reason to go back. At that point, it will no longer simply be about abandoning the old environment. Rather, it will feel like a step toward maturity, an act of independence, a profound spiritual shift. Both paths are possible, returning to a refreshed version of the old world, or stepping fully into an entirely new journey. Therefore, even for those who are reading this spread without any specific person or emotional connection in mind, the message remains. Within the next 2 to 3 months, many new things will appear in your life that will spark your passion and excitement. And ultimately, a complete restart, a total renewal will take place. Your life is about to undergo a major transformation, as if a completely new breeze is beginning to blow through. The feeling is very palpable, and the Justice card appears as a strong emphasis that you are at a stage where an important, clear, and decisive choice needs to be made. The energy this card brings suggests that you genuinely desire clarity. Perhaps you have grown weary of ambiguity, tired of waiting, and many of those following this reading might also be carrying the same feeling, a sense of exhaustion from the uncertainty and a longing for resolution. Looking at the cards that have appeared, I sense very strongly that what you have been yearning for will soon become clear. A confirmation, a moment of illumination, is on its way. For example, you may have been wondering whether you should continue with your current job, or questioning whether the person you have in mind is truly right for you. These questions in the near future will be guided into a phase of sorting, a stage where you can consciously make more deliberate choices. The movement will begin with the introduction of new elements, offering you more opportunities for comparison and reflection. In other words, new options will emerge, providing you with additional material to make your decision. Although you might initially feel overwhelmed by the abundance of choices, you will also start to realize that there is not just one single path available to you. You will begin to see that there are many other enticing possibilities beyond what you have been holding on to. And because you will be able to see the broader picture, the decision you make will no longer come from a place of passivity, but rather from a conscious and proactive choice, selecting what truly resonates with you. From a state where everything once felt stuck, your life will suddenly begin to move with powerful momentum. Within that flow of change, a few unexpected situations may arise, perhaps even giving you a slight shock. However, these experiences are necessary arrangements designed to help propel you into transformation. And along with that transformation, a rich, abundant current of energy will start to flow into your life. The appearance of the Wands card here represents the spirit of leadership and the act of taking control. Therefore, I sense that up until now, you may have often been in a passive state, allowing the currents of life to carry you along. But now, everything is shifting so that you will no longer remain in that position. You are about to step into a more proactive, empowered role, knowing what you want and being ready to make decisions for your own future. The vague restlessness you have previously experienced may have stemmed from being in a passive stance for too long, waiting, hoping for others to act, wishing that someone else would take the initiative to change the situation. However, the message here is clear. Movement will definitely come, but even more importantly, you must also nurture within yourself the will to create that change. The desire to actively take steps forward, that is the crucial element. It is time for you to take the wheel of your own life, to steer and guide the path you are meant to walk. You no longer need to wait for others to speak first, nor do you need to depend on the choices they make. This card emphasizes the importance of returning to your inner axis, your personal core, the place where you live in alignment with your true essence, and from there, confidently lead your life in your own unique way. There is a growing sense that masculine energy, the energy of action, leadership, and self-determination, is awakening within you. You are the one holding the director's chair in the movie of your life. You are the scriptwriter, the visionary, not anyone else. If you continue allowing others to decide for you, wouldn't that be wasting the immense potential that lies within you? Now that everything is gradually becoming clearer, I want to emphasize one final message that the cards are offering: compassion toward yourself, which means loving yourself, thinking of yourself, caring for and nurturing your own emotions. This is vitally important. As you begin to move, as your life starts to shift in a new direction, ask yourself, what kinds of people do you truly wish to meet? What kinds of experiences will make your heart race with happiness? What kinds of career opportunities do you deeply long for? And what kind of environment do you dream of living in, where every day is filled with energy and inspiration? Try to imagine, to write down, or simply repeat to yourself positive affirmations that focus solely on you. For example, I have experienced a wonderful encounter. I am working in an environment full of inspiration. Everything I desire is gradually becoming reality. Do this purely for yourself, without needing to think about anyone else. You do not need to concern yourself with whether this person will change or whether that person will respond. External conditions are irrelevant. Because when you truly desire something and wholeheartedly send your intentions out into the universe will find a way to arrange for it to come to you smoothly. For instance, if you are wishing to marry and have children, and you are placing that wish onto a specific person, perhaps someone currently in your life, that is perfectly fine. However, the key is to focus only on your own emotions and desires. I want to live in a happy family. I want to become a mother. I want to live with someone who loves me deeply. Keep affirming in this way, without needing to specify who that person is, and without trying to force anyone into fitting your vision. When you emit a clear energy about what you truly long for, the right person, someone aligned with your heartfelt wishes, will naturally appear or be drawn closer to you. What I truly want you to cherish at this moment is that, although this person may be very important to you, above all else is the wish you hold for yourself, that you want to get married, that you want to have children, and that you want to make these dreams come true for your own happiness. When you wholeheartedly wish for something because it is what you deeply desire for yourself, when you clearly define that it is a longing that comes from the very depths of your heart, you will find that the universe begins to arrange everything to bring you to the right moment, with the right person. It may be that the person you are currently thinking of in about 4 months' time will start preparing themselves mentally, setting things in motion, and then unexpectedly propose to you. It may also be that this will be the moment when you receive the joyful news of a child coming into your life. Or it could very well be that you will meet someone entirely new, a completely fresh presence, but one who carries within them a serious and clear intention, someone who comes into your life to love you with the purpose of marriage, ready to begin a whole new chapter with you. All of these possibilities will be guided by the clarity that arises from within you. Once your heart becomes clear, the flow of life will also begin to move in the right direction. When you remain in a state of waiting, placing your hopes on someone else to make decisions for you, in truth, you are not yet fully acting on behalf of yourself. Somewhere within you, there may have been a degree of compromise. You wished for something but partially surrendered, partially hoped that someone else would change to meet your needs. Yet, wishes born from compromise often cannot come true because they do not arise from the full depth of your heart and the absolute belief that you are deserving of what you seek. Now is the time you are being given a completely new blank canvas to rebuild the painting of your life. Ask yourself, if I could choose again, how would I want to live my life? What kind of person would I want to be with? What would I want to do, and where would I want to be? When you truly decide these things for yourself, the universe will begin to bring that flow closer to you, clearer, more tangible, more real. However, there will be times when you may feel unable to make a decision immediately. Perhaps you cannot yet clearly envision what would truly make you happy. Such moments are entirely natural. And during these times, you can also choose to surrender to the natural flow of the universe. Send a heartfelt prayer. Please bring to me the best, the happiest version of all possibilities, that which will make my heart smile completely. The universe will listen, and if you send your prayer with sincerity, it will guide you to where you truly belong. Even so, if you can clarify your desires just a little more, make them just a bit more specific, the universe will be able to receive your signal more easily and respond even faster. Specificity strengthens your energy, and that allows everything you hope for to come closer to you swiftly and completely. It seems that you are in a truly beautiful phase of your journey, a time of recognizing your true emotions, of discovering your authentic self, the perfect moment to rebuild everything from a place of greater honesty and awakened consciousness. The appearance of the self-compassion card here also carries a very clear message. Learn to accept your true self and allow yourself to long for the things your heart truly desires. When you give yourself permission to dream, to reach for what you sincerely yearn for, your entire energy field will shift powerfully. Try living that way. Try just once to put yourself first, and you will see how everything will begin to change dramatically. I will close the reading for Group 2 here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to click like and subscribe to support me. Your encouragement is a great source of motivation for me to continue bringing even more meaningful readings. If there was something in today's messages that resonated with your heart, please leave a comment or even just a small symbol to let me know that it truly connected with you. I deeply cherish every bit of your sharing and look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you again in the next readings. Hello to those of you who chose pile 3. Thank you for waiting. Now, I will begin the reading for those of you who chose pile number 3. I hope that this reading will bring you healing, new insights, and moments filled with love and tenderness. We're going to explore the messages surrounding the theme of something unexpected beginning to move, something about to start happening. Let's dive into the messages about this sudden shift together. It seems that many of you are currently in a rather favorable state. You may have just overcome some difficult situations, or you may have recently achieved something that has left you feeling satisfied and fulfilled. It's also possible that you have received good news or reached an important milestone. The appearance of the World card, which symbolizes fulfillment and completion, is a very powerful sign indicating that you are in a phase where your ability to attract good things is extremely strong. It's as if whatever you think about, there are immediate signs of it manifesting from the other side. A powerful magnetic energy is surrounding you. And the main message the cards are sending to you is this: the time of major shifts, of sudden changes, is about to begin. The things you once silently longed for, the wishes you once made, are unexpectedly being pulled into your life, as if they suddenly appear out of nowhere. A new wave of movement is about to rush in, bringing with it the blossoming of old desires into tangible reality. Looking at this spread, from past to present to future, everything is illuminated, and right now, the energy of completion and fulfillment truly envelopes you. Perhaps you can feel it yourself, that the flow of life is currently very smooth, and you might even be thinking, oh, why is everything moving so effortlessly? You are drawn to this reading with a desire to understand more clearly what is happening or about to happen as everything begins to accelerate. Yet the message shows that the movement has already begun. And it is not just a fleeting moment. What you are experiencing now holds the potential to become a stable, enduring state, a new rhythm of life that will accompany you moving forward. There is a special emphasis being placed on the element of information, knowledge, wisdom, and intelligence. Especially in the messages concerning the future, the appearance of the High Priestess card suggests that you are entering a phase where spiritual awakening, heightened sensitivity, or a form of inner power is gradually being unlocked. Whether or not you usually focus on matters of spirituality, you will likely start to notice signs such as sharper intuition, a clear ability to sense and act according to your inner knowing. You might find yourself understanding others without them needing to speak, or strongly sensing what is right or wrong without relying on logical reasoning or external tools like tarot, physiognomy, or astrology. If you have always had a subtle feeling that you are a little different, that you can sense things others cannot, now is the time for that ability to emerge more clearly. It does not have to be a loud or dramatic awakening. It could simply be that you feel more connected to yourself, to nature, and to the invisible messages flowing around you. In terms of the past, the Page of Pentacles has appeared, a sign that you have been very patient, steady, and deliberate in building and accumulating something step by step. Although it was neither flashy nor swift, you devoted your heart and energy to this endeavor over a considerable period of time, possibly from 6 months to a year, or even longer. You steadily nurtured it, whether it was a career, a skill, a relationship, or a personal dream. And now, you are beginning to see the fruits of your labor. The satisfaction you are feeling now is not the result of random luck, but rather the reward for your perseverance throughout this journey. You may be sensing a feeling of completeness, that what you have diligently built is finally settling into its rhythm and starting to produce tangible results. All of this indicates that you are standing at a very special threshold, where the seeds you once planted are now beginning to sprout all at once, and the hidden abilities within you are also starting to unfold to support your next phase of growth. This is not a random turning point, but a milestone you have been quietly preparing for all along. With the Moon card appearing in the reverse position, your emotional energy is being clearly revealed. This indicates that you have previously gone through a period of anxiety, confusion, or inner disorientation, but at present, it seems you have managed to move beyond that difficult stretch. No longer trapped by vague fears or caught in endless loops of overthinking, you are stepping into the light, or, at the very least, you have just emerged from a heavy, unclear mental state. For many, that phase might have been a time when they had to face their emotions, doubts, or inner conflicts alone, without anyone around truly understanding them. And you, somehow, found your way through it. Looking into your surrounding environment, the Hermit card appears, symbolizing that not only you, but also those around you may be walking their own paths of spiritual awakening. There is a shared atmosphere of silence, contemplation, and inner reflection between you and the people currently present in your life. You may be sensing a subtle distance from the outside world, but it is not a feeling of loneliness. It is a necessary pause, a sacred space allowing both you and others to reset and realign your souls. Another fascinating and important message is being conveyed. You may have recently encountered someone to whom you feel genuinely drawn. You might not yet know exactly why, but this person stirs a sense of curiosity within you, an urge to understand them more deeply. They could be a source of inspiration, an ideal figure you aspire to approach, or even just someone you happen to see through social media whose image continues to linger in your mind. And what you need to know is, this person did not appear in your life by mere chance. The message suggests that you and this person share some form of destined connection in the future. They might be doing things you feel called to learn from, or they may be living a life you feel drawn to move toward. If you find that their name, image, or content related to them keeps appearing multiple times, consider that a sign. You might hear about them 3 times from different sources or repeatedly come across their posts. That is the symbol of attraction, the sign that you are being guided closer to them. These occurrences of 3 times are often the way the universe sends you its messages. This person may play the role of a guide, someone who brings about a major turning point in your future growth journey. In the context of love, they could be someone with whom you will share a deep, potentially long-lasting bond, or they may already be present in your life, acting as a catalyst for you to enter a phase of deeper awakening. It is also possible that you are the one who will guide them into their own journey of awakening. The keyword awakening stands out very clearly in the reading for those who chose pile 3. a reminder that you are in a phase of unlocking your inner potential while simultaneously connecting with kindred souls who share the same frequency, rising together. The awakening we are speaking of here is not simply about a talent or ability within you beginning to flourish. It carries a deeper meaning. You gradually come to accept your true self, to remember something you have long yearned to fulfill, and then you begin taking real steps toward making it a reality. Each person will experience awakening in their own unique way, but overall, it is the moment when you truly reconnect with your most primal, authentic essence and start living in alignment with it. Of course, spiritual blossoming such as intuitive abilities, heightened sensitivity, healing capabilities, or communication with higher frequencies is also a form of awakening, and this is being emphasized in the message for you. Perhaps within you right now, there is something yearning to be unlocked, something wanting to stretch out into the light and fully express itself to the outer world. If you are longing for love, wishing for a serious relationship, moving toward marriage, or desiring a deep emotional connection, then what seeks to awaken within you might very well be your personal magnetism, a unique, radiant beauty that naturally attracts the right person to you. It is possible that recently you have found yourself drawn to someone who stirs admiration or curiosity within you, making you wonder, how does this person take care of themselves? Or, what kind of lifestyle do they lead? And from there, you begin to learn, to feel inspired. This individual could very well be a mirror showing you a glimpse of your future self, a more mature, radiant version of you who is living in full alignment with their true nature. Their appearance is like an invitation, calling you to step onto your own journey of self-upgrade and to live your life with greater depth and authenticity. At the same time, you may also be receiving guidance from those who once accompanied you, perhaps a close family member, a former lover, or someone with whom you once shared deep conversations. With the symbolism of the hermit, it seems that the guiding energy from them still lingers within you like a small lantern quietly illuminating your path, whether they are still present in your life or have already moved on. And you, quite naturally, have come to understand that the phase you are currently living through has reached its completion. You have experienced, felt, and learned many precious lessons in this place. There is a sense that you are deeply fulfilled and content with who you have become and what you have achieved. Yet, at the same time, a gentle stirring arises within you, as if you are standing at the threshold of a new doorway, quietly asking yourself, do I need to stay here any longer? It is not because this place is lacking or unworthy, but because you know you have outgrown it. You have matured beyond this phase, and now your soul begins to yearn for something fresher, for a vaster world that is calling you forward. And perhaps right at this moment, you are beginning to look back, not to retreat, but to make sure that you are truly ready to step forward with a heart lighter and freer than ever before. The symbol of the moon in this spread represents cycles, and specifically here, it speaks of the fact that you are preparing to step into a new cycle. All the things you have diligently built over time, all the tireless efforts you have made, have brought you not only tangible results, but also invaluable experiences. You may be feeling content with your current life, or perhaps you are being recognized by others, sought after as someone of value and magnetic presence. Yet, no matter how full and abundant your present feels, there is still something inside you that gently whispers, it is time to move on to the next phase. And it is precisely this moment of transition, that is deeply intertwined with the awakening emphasized for you. You may soon begin to rediscover what your heart truly longs for. Perhaps it is a dream that had once been forgotten, a passion that was left unfinished, or a soul mission that you are slowly beginning to remember. This is not merely a change of job or external circumstances. It is a profound internal shift where you start reconnecting with the reason for your existence, the true purpose behind your being born into this life. You may also be approaching an important encounter in your life, with someone whom you and they had made an agreement with before you were even born, a soul with whom you co-wrote a sacred covenant. We will meet again in this lifetime, at that destined moment. This person may not necessarily be a romantic connection, but they will undoubtedly be someone who will profoundly alter your spiritual and personal journey. It will be a reunion powerful enough to ignite your inner light, awaken the deepest layers of your soul, and serve as a catalyst guiding you toward your true self. Therefore, this awakening carries many layers of meaning. It is not merely an activation of your abilities, but a profound calling to return to your authentic self. It is the realization of what you truly love, of what you simply cannot not do in this lifetime. May I invite you to delve a little deeper into the environment surrounding you at this moment? I can sense very clearly that your surroundings, or the people around you, are playing a particularly significant role right now. However, when looking into your emotional state, the symbol of the moon still appears in a reverse position, rather than the sun, the symbol of clarity, fulfillment, and complete radiance. This suggests that although you are holding many things in your hands, success, status, prestige, capability, even the admiration of others, deep inside, there remains a subtle emptiness. It is not that you are dissatisfied, but rather as if you are standing at the threshold of something newer, truer, and deeper, a transition from external success toward true inner fulfillment. You may be smiling at the life you have now, yet at the same time, your soul is stirring, yearning for something different. Perhaps that is why, even in the midst of abundance, you still feel an urge to move forward, not out of lack, but because you have ripened for a phase of greater maturity, deeper meaning, and richer spiritual depth. Although everything in your life currently seems to be going very well, you might still feel a slight sense of incompleteness, as if something within you has yet to be fully satisfied. And yet, the image of happy success immediately appears, an extremely positive and promising sign. It indicates that your current surroundings and the people present in your life at this moment are playing the role of guides, connectors leading you toward true happiness and real success. They are not merely companions, but illuminators, ones who will show you the path to achieving fulfillment not only in emotional and financial aspects, but also within your innermost being. Happy success here does not merely refer to material success or measurable achievements, but also to a fulfillment that arises from the heart, the kind of feeling that, once you touch it, you will know deep within that you have truly lived in alignment with your authentic self. As I mentioned before, the definition of success is different for everyone. For some, it is a thriving career. For others, it is love. And for some, it is simply peace and happiness shared with their loved ones. The good news is that you are either already approaching or about to have the opportunity to attain both aspects, material abundance and soulful richness. At this moment, there may already be someone around you who can offer insights, experiences, or inspiration to help you achieve this, a kind of mentor in life or career, or perhaps even a potential life partner. This person could very well be the one you are currently with, and between the two of you, a positive and healthy relationship is either forming or about to deepen. This relationship not only supports your growth but also provides a sense of safety, nurturing both of you emotionally and spiritually. Sometimes in life, we can easily be affected by the negative energies of others. Yet at this moment, you are in an exceptionally favorable phase, one where the people around you also carry positive energies and you yourself have become a beacon attracting them. You are now someone who brings inspiration and a sense of ease to others, and because of that, you are also drawing to yourself people who are loving, attentive, and supportive. It is a beautiful mutual exchange. On one side is your openness, and on the other side are those who bring the opportunities or love you have long been seeking. If you're still wondering why no one like that has appeared in your life yet, it is very likely that within the next few days, such an encounter will take place. This person may enter your life in the most natural way, through a casual conversation, a random scroll on social media, or an unexpected reunion. But when you meet them, you will feel a clear and unmistakable sense that this person brings something different, something significant, and they are likely to be an important part of your journey toward true and complete happiness. There are people who make us think, I want to become someone like that, and there are also those who make us realize, I have already achieved this, I have done it right. Indeed, right now, that person is receiving a powerful wave of positive energy. Because of that, the people around them also seem to carry good energy, naturally drawn closer. This also indicates that the environment you are currently in may very well be the environment that will bring you success and happiness in the future. I sense that this is the message being conveyed. Therefore, let us now go deeper to explore the final outcome, your future. The card that appears is assessing, symbolizing evaluation. I will pull a few more cards. Next is creative endeavor, a creative undertaking. And then comes adventure, a journey of exploration. When things begin to move quickly, it often brings a sense of awakening. It is precisely this awakening that helps you discover what you truly want to do, or perhaps brings back desires you once had but kept setting aside, postponing. Those pursuits, the ones you once thought could never become real work, that they were merely hobbies, are now being valued. They may even turn into your actual profession. I feel that this is not particularly related to love or human relationships, but rather speaks about you yourself. This is a time of awakening, a time to start doing the things you once wished to do, but never had the chance. It is also the moment you realize that you genuinely have talent in that very field. The journey and adventure cards here indicate that this is a fresh beginning, A new adventure awaits you. A new start, and this journey will lead you toward both personal fulfillment and financial success. Therefore, the things your heart has been yearning for, even if you once thought they could never bring you money, if you feel genuinely drawn to them, if they sound exciting, if you feel joyful while doing them, then those very things are the path that will lead you to success and abundance. Choosing to follow your heart is, in fact, the very path that will allow you to achieve both success and happiness, because it means you are living and working from your true, innate talents. The cards mention creator and creative, highlighting creativity, but it is not limited only to traditional creative professions like painters or designers. Here, it speaks of the natural gifts you were born with, and it seems that the flow of energy is about to make those talents bloom suddenly and beautifully. The message also clearly points to a time frame, the months of July, August, and September. As we are now in the latter half of April, it suggests that in the coming months, everything will begin to move swiftly, in a way that feels smooth and effortless, as if the wind itself is guiding your sails. Around July, the spirit of adventure within you may awaken, and you might decide, all right, I'm going to begin. Or that could be the moment when you officially take the first step into something new. From that point onward, your creativity will begin to flow strongly, and as you take action using your innate abilities, within just 2 months, you will start to receive recognition and appreciation. Therefore, I feel that there is already a sense of fulfillment within you. Perhaps you have already achieved some of the things you once wished for, maybe you have earned money from your efforts, or you have felt that you were able to bring value to others. You may have thought that you had already traveled quite far and that there was nothing more you needed to pursue. However, it seems that something new is about to begin. A new project in your life, something that may appear unexpectedly, as if it had been waiting there for you all along. I feel that it is very likely within the next 2 months you will meet someone, a person who, in some way, will reveal that path to you. Or, if you have already met this person, then it is through them that you are gradually receiving powerful inspiration to awaken, to begin to see clearly and believe in your own abilities. Perhaps this is related to work, but not in the traditional sense you might have previously imagined. In this world, there are countless kinds of work that exist. It's just that we are not always aware of them. What you are about to embark on may very well be something no one has ever done in quite the same way before, or it could be a unique combination of fields that seem unrelated. And through that, you will create a service or offering that carries your own distinct personal signature. For example, someone might be a nail artist or an eyelash extension specialist, but at the same time incorporate elements of psychological counseling and emotional support during the beauty process. This is a form of creativity. It is not something entirely new in essence, but it is about the way you rearrange, blend, and transform things into something only you can offer. Therefore, I don't believe you need to completely abandon what you have been doing or change everything. Rather, it is about adjusting, coordinating, and expanding slightly in a new direction. That will bring you genuine joy and excitement. In the advice section, the Temperance card appears in reverse. This indicates that balance is being disrupted. You might be leaning too much toward one side, such as working excessively without resting, or trying too hard to please others while neglecting your own feelings and true needs. This card reminds you to pay attention to finding harmony between giving and receiving, between action and rest, between reason and emotion. In the past, you may have always made an effort to see the bigger picture, thinking realistically about financial matters, taking into account the people around you, and clearly distinguishing between what you truly want, your dreams and goals, and practical issues like income and work. It seems you have known how to do this skillfully, flexibly, and responsibly. However, this time, the message reveals that you no longer need to overthink things. You don't have to try so hard to maintain perfect balance, or to align yourself impeccably with societal expectations, nor do you need to put pressure on yourself to turn this into a formal career. On the contrary, you are encouraged to live a little more like an outlaw, not in the sense of rebelling or breaking norms, but in being freer and truer to yourself. I sense that you naturally possess a very free-spirited and open-hearted nature, and you once dared to do many things differently. Yet, at some point in your life, you told yourself, I must be practical, I must grow up, I must create stability. And so you began to step into the role of someone who lives by principles, who saves money, who carefully builds a secure life. But if you look back to your days as a student, you are someone who dared to challenge yourself with risky endeavors. Here, risky does not carry a negative meaning, but rather speaks of adventure, courage, and a willingness to dive into the new without fear of failure. And I believe you still carry that spirit, that bold, adventurous spirit, within you. In fact, In many of the recent readings I have done, I have encountered quite a few individuals who embody that dangerous energy, meaning they possess enough courage, creativity, and capacity to embark on a new journey. And I sense that very same quality within you. It is just that for a long time, you've been suppressing that part of yourself, trying to live obediently, to be a good person, to behave properly. While there is nothing wrong with that, it also feels as though the most wonderful part of you, the strong, daring, and inspiring part, has been set aside for far too long. When I see these cards, I sense that perhaps recently you have started to feel an emptiness within, a feeling that something has yet to be truly fulfilled. Even though you are excellent at self-control, at living with discipline, and that has brought you many achievements, the recognition of those around you, and perhaps now you are standing in a solid position in life, there is still that sense of incompleteness. It is also possible that you are someone who, even at a young age, has lived to meet the expectations of your family, especially those of your parents, and you have fulfilled that role beautifully. But now, the cards are telling you, it is enough. Yes, you have done enough. I feel that the person you are seeing before you, or the one you will soon meet in the future, or the one you are currently admiring, is a symbol of freedom. Someone who lives according to their own will, who does what they love without being bound by society's gaze or judgments. And deep down you, too, are nurturing a similar longing. That is why, in this reading, a card representing secrecy has appeared. It symbolizes something you have always kept within your heart, something you deeply desire, a wish that has never been spoken aloud. And that person, the one you admire, is the living embodiment of that hidden wish. In the previous reading, there were cases where the focus leaned toward emotions and relationships. But this time, the feelings are directed entirely toward yourself, toward your goals, your passions, and an inner awakening within you. Therefore, with the symbol of the heart, love is indeed present, not merely romantic love, but a beginning that stems from loving yourself, awakening your personal desires so that everything else, including romantic love, will naturally follow in the flow of that positive energy. I can sense that when you truly live in alignment with your heart, the vibrations of love will naturally come to you, and more than that, they will grow smoothly and beautifully. And when I drew an additional love card, the message revealed was positive thinking, which means to maintain a positive belief. Believe in the good, believe in yourself, and trust the guidance of your heart. The card also carries an image of offering, like someone giving something wholeheartedly, without calculation or expectation. This suggests that love will come to you as a reward when you dare to live true to yourself and are not afraid to offer the best of your heart. Seeing these cards this time, I can once again feel very clearly that, at this moment, the focus is not merely on love, but rather on something far greater being awakened within you. You are someone I believe, even before coming into this life, had made a vow with the divine, with the universe, a promise that said, I will fulfill this mission. You are here not merely to live an ordinary life, but to dedicate your existence to something sacred and greater than yourself. And you did not come empty-handed. You are gifted with talents, abilities, and inner strength. These gifts did not come to you by chance. They are rewards, careful preparations made by your soul before you entered this world. And now is the time for you to open those gifts. The act of opening them is the awakening itself, the moment you recognize and begin to use these gifts for yourself and for your life. By living in alignment with this, you are not only helping yourself, but truly serving something far greater, becoming an extended hand of the divine, of the universe, bringing value and light to many others. I truly believe you are someone who carries a special mission. Every person is born with their own unique purpose, but in your case, this is emphasized very powerfully by the appearance of the World card. This indicates that your influence is not meant to be confined to a small space. It has the potential to reach the world, to ignite, to inspire, or to assist in awakening the consciousness of many. You were born with that power. You possess exceptional abilities, intelligence, and profound understanding. And although we often hear that human strength cannot compare to the power of the universe, you are someone whose very human strength alone has already reached a level that astonishes others. However, the message here is this. Now is the time when you no longer need to rely solely on your own strength. As you fully awaken, you will begin to connect more deeply with the universe, and when that happens, you will receive support from above. Everything will no longer feel as arduous as before, for you are entering a phase where universal energy will assist you more abundantly, helping you achieve what you desire with greater ease. In other words, you're stepping into a powerful transition, from struggling alone to walking hand in hand with the universe. And once you connect with that source of strength, your creativity, your ability to inspire, and your capacity to heal will be magnified many times over. Isn't it true, then, that you are now in an incredibly powerful state? Because you already possess strength from within, your efforts, intelligence, and skills, and now you are also supported by the universe, by a higher wisdom, making it so that nothing can truly stand in your way. It feels as if you are entering an invincible phase. So yes, it is truly something to look forward to. Everything is gradually being revealed. I also took a brief look at the aspect of timing, and for those who may not be encountering this reading exactly at this moment, the markers 7, 8, and 9, that is, July, August, and September, are highlighted as the period when significant movements will begin. In other words, in just about 2 months' time, you will start to feel a remarkable shift. Everything will begin to unfold very quickly. Regarding the current energy, I can clearly feel that many of you are not necessarily in a state of passionate romance. You might feel that simply having someone to admire and love from afar is enough to make you happy. Or perhaps you find joy simply in silently cheering for that person, feeling connected, sharing in their journey, and living within that quiet happiness. There are those who are fully devoted to raising their children, and there are others who are still students, those who are pouring all of their energy into pursuing their dreams and conquering their goals. I sense that many who chose this reading belong to that group. For those of you who are currently in a relationship, the energy at this moment suggests that your relationship is progressing smoothly. It may be that your partner is someone who inspires you, who brings positive energy into your life. And because you do not feel the need to overly worry about or invest heavily in love right now, everything is naturally flowing with ease. On the other hand, if you are feeling that your love life has not been going so smoothly, I believe the awakening that is about to happen within you will help you release those emotional entanglements for a time. You will gradually distance yourself from the tangled emotions, allowing you to focus more on yourself. And by doing so, you will unintentionally create a positive flow that will also purify your love life and open it up to welcome more beautiful changes. As previously mentioned, you will have both. Both your career path and your love life can coexist harmoniously. As long as you return to yourself and focus on inner growth, everything will naturally find its balance. If you are currently feeling confused about love, perhaps this is the time to stop trying to force an answer. Instead, turn inward, nurture yourself, feed your dreams, and reconnect with your true essence. That will lead you to the most favorable and effortless flow. A few cards that have just appeared include bouquet, representing beauty, joy, and unexpected gifts, birds, symbolizing communication, connection, messages, or even happy news, and child, the symbol of innocence, new beginnings, or a part of you yearning to be free and to live joyfully like a child. Sweet and full of inspiration. Now, I will draw 4 more cards for this part. The first card is Cross, a symbol of destiny. It speaks of a greater design beyond individual will. Next is Bouquet. Once again, the card of joy, blessings, and gifts. Yet again, the message of gifts and talents reappears, just as I had mentioned earlier. Then there is Birds, representing communication, exchange of information, and Child, symbolizing new beginnings, innocence, yet also full of potential and freshness. Overall, I feel that you are about to embark on something truly new and exciting. Based on the timeline I saw earlier, around the months of July and August, by the 3rd month from now, this will be the moment when your creative and expansive energy will blossom most vibrantly. Birds once again emphasizes the importance of connection, communication, sharing, and the exchange of information. There are also other cards from the deck that carry similar meanings, representing knowledge, wisdom, and information, appearing in the future position. Therefore, I see 3 main things that will happen. First, you will unlock your talents, an awakening from within, and through that, you will connect to the wisdom of the universe. It will feel as though a gift from above has finally been opened. Next, as this talent is awakened, you will begin to attract the necessary information or encounter destined individuals who will support you on your new journey. And finally, you will embark on something completely new, a journey, a project, a mission, much like the adventure journey that appeared earlier in the reading. I feel very strongly that from now until the next 2 months is an extremely important period for you to lay solid foundations. You might travel somewhere, a distant journey, or a place you have never been before. It is also possible that you will start sharing your creations, your work, or something you have been nurturing through platforms like social media or other mediums. If you have already been doing that, then now is the time to devote even more heart and energy into promoting, expanding, and reaching a wider audience. Or it could simply be opening up conversations and sharing with others about what you're working on. This could lead to unexpected opportunities. The next 2 months will be the foundation for the major transformations ahead of you. This is the time to lay the very first bricks for this inspiring new journey. The way to recognize your own talent or innate gift is actually very simple. It is something that, when you do it, you completely lose track of time, becoming deeply absorbed without needing any external push. Just engaging in that activity alone fills you with happiness, with a pure joy rising from within. Therefore, whether it brings you financial gain or not is truly unimportant at this moment. You don't need to think about that. Another clear sign is when, as you do it, others feel joyful and grateful. Or it could be something you do with such ease and naturalness that you don't even realize it's a talent, because to you, it feels utterly ordinary. Yet these very things are often the ones others repeatedly mention. You're really good at this. Or can you help me with this? And because you're so often asked for help, you might not even recognize that it's because you're gifted. You simply assume anyone could do it just as easily. There may have been times when someone invited you, "Why don't you give this a try?" But you declined, thinking, "I'm not sure I can do it." However, if people keep inviting you like that, it might be because, in their eyes, you have the qualities suited for it. Perhaps that is the gift, the potential that you have yet to realize. Sometimes, we are the ones who cannot clearly see our own talents, while the world around us can. That is why I once shared in a previous video about the mission and talents that are gradually awakening. If you are interested, you might want to watch that video. And if you have already seen it, then congratulations. Your talent is entering its awakening phase. You will soon notice that magical encounters begin to happen. You will gradually connect with those who have already achieved success, those who carry positive energy and live in fulfillment and happiness. I sense that around the 3rd month from now, you will truly begin to take action. That will be the time when you lay the very first bricks to build something tangible, something with real form, and it may also start bringing you material and financial value. This marks the true beginning of a new journey, the journey of your awakened talent, the journey of living in alignment with your soul's mission. Therefore, in the next 1 to 2 months, take time to prepare yourself. When everything is ready, you can begin to step onto your new path. This will be an ideal time for you to dive deep within, to ask yourself, what is it? Look back on your past, recall the things that once ignited your passion, the dreams you once had but, for some reason, had to set aside. Let those memories return to you, because this tarot reading clearly shows that destiny is beginning to move. Around 4 months from now, you will see something starting to take shape. Moreover, it carries the meaning of a soul mission, something you once promised the divine before coming into this life. There is a strong sense that the time to begin is now, and over the next 3 to 4 months, everything will gradually take on a clearer form. Therefore, within the next 4 months, it is very likely that whatever you are pursuing will undergo a powerful transformation. Or perhaps you will continue with what you're already doing, but in an upgraded version, adding something new, more creative, and more aligned with who you have become. In addition, this time, there is a very special energy being mentioned, the energy of innocence and purity. You will return to your true self, no longer hiding behind any masks or playing any roles. This card also symbolizes clarity and purity, meaning that the outer layers, the burdens, and the expectations placed upon you by society are gradually being shed away. You, the mature version of yourself, will now face life with the heart of a child, curious, natural, and sincere. Even if what you choose is not exactly what you always thought of as your true self, you will still feel something very clearly. I simply want to do this because I love it, because I am drawn to it, because it feels truly wonderful. And then, perhaps around the 3rd month, you will encounter it, a passion or an opportunity so compelling that you cannot ignore it. And when that moment arrives, the doors will open, opportunities will come, and you will begin to step into a new phase where you truly use your talents, your gifts, to serve the divine, the universe, and humanity. This is truly a reading filled with great power. I will continue to stay connected in order to bring you even deeper messages from higher realms. Be simpler, shine brighter, live more authentically. That is what I genuinely feel. As for the symbolic card, it likely speaks of gradually letting go of all that no longer reflects your true self. That is why, here and now, I sense that there are still many things surrounding you that do not truly belong to who you are. Your current situation is the result of the things you once longed for, once passionately desired, and you have truly attained them, whether through purchasing them or by turning those wishes into reality. Therefore, to a certain extent, you may have felt a sense of fulfillment, a sense of satisfaction. You are someone who possesses a strong ability to attract what you desire, to manifest dreams into reality. But then, after having acquired so many things, after experiencing so much, after trying countless different paths, there came a moment when you asked yourself, do I really need all of this? And you began to realize that, in truth, only about two things truly matter to you. Or you realize that perhaps this thing or that thing is not as necessary as you once believed. Thus, the thoughts you once had, such as needing to strive harder, needing to have more, needing to become more mature, though not completely gone, have recently begun to fade from the center of your focus. Instead, you are starting to feel that what matters most is your inner self, your inner world. The external aspect, which represents the feminine energy, seems to have already been fulfilled, already sufficient. But deep within, at the very core, there remains the longing to connect with what you truly desire, to live in alignment with what you genuinely want to do. In the past 1 or 2 months, you've been entering a process of shedding, of releasing what is no longer necessary. And it is precisely this process, this letting go, that allows your true talents to bloom. Through it, you come to recognize what truly belongs to you. As human beings, we have worn countless layers, like dressing ourselves in dozens of garments. Even now, if we were to strip down to a single piece of cloth, much like the imagery in the film The Fifth Element, how nostalgic that feels. There was once a time when we all burdened ourselves with so much. Because it was cold, because we could not expose our bare skin, and for 1,000 other reasons, we felt the need to cover ourselves heavily. But now, perhaps the time has come to undress. Everyone has, at some point, adorned themselves with beautiful, splendid things. Everyone has wrapped themselves in layers upon layers of what they believed was necessary. Yet there comes a moment when you begin to wonder, do I really need all of this? You start to realize, oh, it's not actually that cold here, and so you naturally begin to remove one layer after another. You begin to shed those layers, and then you become lighter, more graceful. And it is precisely when you move with such lightness that you realize, this is who I truly am. You encounter your real self, the carefree, innocent version of you, just as you were in childhood. In that very moment, your heart will begin to stir. You will start to feel a profound sense of emotion, and your joy will shine more brightly than ever before. Of course, sadness will also be present, and you will feel it more deeply as well. But the important thing is that your heart becomes more sensitive, more refined. And from there arises a heightened sense of perception, a vibrant, authentic aliveness awakening within you. Human beings, in order to protect themselves, often armor their hearts with layers upon layers of shields, emotional defenses, that sometimes even lock the heart away completely. But when you start peeling those layers away, at first, your heart may still feel frozen, still remain stiff and unyielding. Yet, if you keep shedding those layers, if you continue softening yourself, you will begin to feel. You will feel the air outside. You will feel your skin touching the world. You will feel that, oh, I am beginning to feel again. And when that happens, tears may fall, or a natural smile may bloom on your lips. From that moment, the door of your heart will start to open, quietly, yet steadily. And the door to your talents, or more precisely, the blossoms of your talents, will also gradually begin to unfold. I believe that right now there are many people who are in that process, the process of opening up, letting go, and becoming lighter, simpler. It is a truly beautiful process. How wonderful it is to be able to live simply and gracefully. The reason you came into this world, the purpose of your soul, as I also saw in the previous reading. Let me take a moment to ask a little deeper. I genuinely care. Why did you come here? What promise did you make to the divine before entering this world? Therefore, in order to create a space where you can say, this feels so comfortable, so light and free, I believe you can continue releasing even more of what is no longer necessary. Simply keep moving toward that feeling of ease and peace, toward the place where you can naturally be your truest self. The Hanger card represents the full moon. It has already passed its peak. When I see this, I sense that you must have had an incredibly intense desire, something you truly yearn to do. Perhaps it is something left unfinished from a past life, a task you were unable to complete before that life ended, and you have carried that longing with you, returning to this life, to try once more to bring it to fulfillment. And the promise between you and the divine is likely about that very thing, the deep longing within your soul to continue fulfilling what was once left unfinished. It is not something born out of personal desire or greed, but rather something your heart genuinely yearns to do. And because it is so sincere, I believe it is also something that will naturally bring value to others. In other words, what you truly wish to do, what you feel called to accomplish in this lifetime, that is your mission. Therefore, you do not need to strive for others, or for God, or for humanity. Do not think that your mission must be about serving someone else. Simply be honest with your own heart. If you deeply wish to do something, even if it is simply to be with someone, that alone is already profoundly important. The key to living a simple and light-filled life is honesty with yourself. So, for those who are still unsure about what they truly wish to do, start first by letting go of what you no longer want to do. Because when we live caught up in the cycle of obligations, the things we feel we must do, over time, we lose touch with what we genuinely desire. Our souls become clouded by responsibility and duty. Therefore, first, try to release the things you no longer wish to hold on to. Lighten your burden little by little. And as you do, what you truly long for will naturally reveal itself. I can sense that there is something within you, something that once felt dry and depleted, or perhaps a burning dream you once held close, and now, you are about to bring it into reality. Therefore, your soul must be rejoicing at this moment, overflowing with happiness. Of course, doing something for the earth, for others, for the community is always a beautiful motivation. I am not saying that you must abandon those noble intentions. But for now, set them gently aside, and first, allow yourself to fulfill your own dream. Let yourself live true to who you are first. Being honest with your own feelings, that is the secret to achieving true, happy success. And that is also the way to live a simple and light-filled life. I still remember when I was in my early 20s, I once dreamed of becoming a singer. There was a time when an elder asked me, "Why do you want to be a singer?" And at that moment, I thought I had to say something really admirable, something beautiful. I thought I needed to answer in a way that sounded meaningful and kind. So I said, because I want to bring smiles to many people. I want to sing songs that can make people smile. That answer wasn't wrong. It was a reflection of something genuinely true inside me. But then that adult said to me, "That sounds a little arrogant, doesn't it?" And they continued, "Happiness, or what makes someone smile, is different for each person. So instead of thinking about making others happy, it's enough if you simply love singing." In that moment, I froze. I wondered, why can't I just say that I love singing? When I looked back over my life up to that point, I realized I had always carried this desire to make my parents happy, to please those around me, to constantly pay attention to how people looked at me and judged me. Because of that, I thought that if I said I loved singing just for myself, people would see me as selfish, as someone who only thought about their own desires. I was afraid that would make others think poorly of me. So I chose a reason that sounded like it was for others, hoping that in return, people would praise me, saying how kind I was, what a wonderful person I had become. Surely that's what people usually say, isn't it? That's what I believed too. But no, that adult said to me, "That sounds arrogant." At that moment, I was truly shocked. But it was precisely because of that shock that I came to understand something very important. It is enough to simply do what you love. I realized that I could pursue what I wanted to do without needing any reason at all. Just because I love it. That alone is enough. As long as you genuinely do what you love with a smile on your face, naturally, and without forcing it, the people who receive the vibrations of your energy will also feel that joy. It is not about trying hard to smile or straining yourself to make others happy. Simply by enjoying each moment fully, the positive emotions within you will naturally ripple outward and reach others. Therefore, making others smile, bringing happiness to others, does not need to be a goal in itself. It will happen naturally as an inevitable result. It is much like money. If you are doing what you love with a sense of fulfillment and joy, abundance and prosperity will also come to you naturally. So, if you are someone who once did not dare to admit that you liked something or wanted to do something, perhaps it was because you thought, "This is my mission." Thinking that way may have made it easier for you to accept your actions and live with your choices. It is like telling yourself, "I am doing this for the happiness of others." But in truth, you do not need to carry the concept of a mission with you. As long as you live true to your heart and do what you genuinely want to do, at that very moment, you are already perfectly fulfilling your mission. As I mentioned earlier, others will naturally feel joy and happiness simply through the energy you radiate. And you do not need to worry about questions like, what if what I do brings no benefit to anyone? What if no one smiles because of it? Because each person has their own preferences, emotions, and perspectives. It is possible that the people around you now may not yet understand your brilliance or feel the joy you are sharing. But perhaps that is because you have lived for too long in a way that suited a world that was never truly yours. And if from now on you begin to live true to yourself, to be honest with your emotions and desires, then naturally, those whose frequencies and feelings resonate with yours will gradually be drawn to you. They will embrace you, they will empathize with you, and they will celebrate with you as you express your true self. Therefore, if you have ever expressed what you are doing or what you truly wish to do, only to be met with opposition or criticism from others, perhaps it simply means you still need to be even more honest with yourself. As you live more and more in alignment with your true nature, shedding the layers that do not belong to you, the people who are truly meant for you will naturally start to appear. Yes, that is the moment when the world around you will begin to change. In fact, I feel that your environment may have already begun to shift. And from this point forward, the transformations will become even more exciting. I am truly looking forward to watching your journey unfold. Congratulations to you. Right now, you are connecting more strongly than ever with what you truly want to do, and the flow of the universe is beginning to help bring that into reality. A message has arrived from the universe, saying, from now on, everything will start moving powerfully. Thank you, universe. Thank you so much. And thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. If what I shared has offered you some useful insight, or if you simply found it enjoyable, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button to support me. Thank you so much. Wishing you a peaceful and lucky day. See you again in the next readings.